Hey fellow lore junkies, welcome back. This is an update video tackling some of your questions that are very consistent on my channel. Some being about the notifications and lack of videos. Others, people are saying this is now just officially a Blizzard Diablo 4 shill channel and also just the future of the channel in general. But before we tackle that, I want to talk about this hat. I'm not a huge fan of swag or merch that is overpowering. I say that when I'm wearing an Overwatch jacket. I can't believe I'm making a video about me not being a shill or supposedly not being a Blizzard shill where I'm wearing Overwatch jacket, hoodie, and the Diablo 4 official hat. I got a newsflash though. This hat looks stupid on my head, as you can clearly see. I mean, I look like a train conductor. It doesn't fit my head. It's leaving like this red line in the middle of my forehead. Okay, so I've got a big melon. Maybe it's the shape of my head, but I was so excited for this hat to come in the mail because I was like, wow, I've finally got a piece of swag that is subtle. So the only hardcore fans will like squint, they'll look at it and they'll go, my boy, this guy likes Diablo. So, yeah, it's not a huge win. I guess I'll have to bust it out for updates, but it is really cutting into my forehead right now. Again, I have a melon. I would love to see pictures of you guys if you have a smaller head, because I feel like maybe this is biased or unfair. The Overwatch jacket, I just love it. It's a really cool style jacket. Anyway, seamless transition into, is Dash a shill? Now, I feel like a lot of the OGs watching the channel will just know what I'm doing innately, but I don't know if Diablo 4 will be any good. I hope it is for fans' sake, all fans' sake. I always hope that something, a property that people love is good. That just makes sense to me. But I'm also not going to pretend that I'm not aware of what's happened with Blizzard, whether it be the political, social aspects of the China debacle. And then, of course, throwing that out the window because that's too hot a topic. If we go just to gaming itself, Warcraft 3 Reforged fell very short of consumer expectations. And I realized since Mike Morhaime left that maybe it may be a different Bethesda. However, watching the panels at BlizzCon 2019, I was really psyched for the way they were talking about a darker gothic tone for Diablo's lore and story. Hopefully it's not Diablo 3 reskinned into just a little bit darker, but still the bombastic style and spectacle creep that we've seen in previous games. But they're talking about muted tones and gameplay that's subdued and more scary human aspects of terror, which I really like. I feel like the human aspect is something that was lost in 3 that hopefully will come back. So I live in hope, but this channel cannot just follow the trail of hope. And so there's two things. Number one, the reason why I create content was because if it's good, I wanted to help lead people up through the path. But the reason why I make Diablo 1 and 2 content is so that people can retread familiar ground and realize this is all the stuff that was awesome for people who don't want to necessarily go back to Diablo 1 or 2, or people who may have never experienced it, or who want to get juiced by seeing these lore videos and, it gets the fever happening and they get back into it. It's all good energy. It's easy to make videos where I'm just, taking shots at a company, but I think it's more potent and powerful a message for the community, especially to be positive and to create things around properties that we love and be like, hey, Blizzard North did a phenomenal job on these stories and this is the bench they've set. And I feel like having that in stone before Diablo 4 comes out, it's like a catalog where if, say, Blizzard decided to go all out and be like, those games weren't that good, that at least there is some, I've thrown my hat in the ring and said, look, here's the source of greatness. Clearly fans have still got a love for it. And so that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I don't have any control over the future, but that's what this channel is about. Now, many of you have said to me, look, we like your content, especially Diablo 2 videos, which I'm having a ton of fun filming. They're hard to make work. And I do want to be the greatest storyteller that I can be, the #1 lore channel on YouTube. But YouTube itself is working against me in that fact. So I appreciate all of the positive energy, and I'm working on becoming better every single video, as you can tell, just digging deeper and trying to make it as the most palatable story experience as possible. But because Diablo 2 is older, and because people don't search it, and maybe I'm not good enough at this point and I'm not getting the consistent watch time, if people don't click up to 3 videos on your channel, I believe, the back-end algorithm says your channel isn't worthwhile to viewers and it stops sending them out. So people who are telling me I'm not getting notifications anymore, I'm trying to tackle this by having consistency of a Diablo 4 video, or the bigger ones, the XYZ is an idiot series, etc., or Genius. It can be either one, but it seems the angels are falling in the latter category, unfortunately. So I'm trying to temper the channel with content so that you do get the notification, so that you're not missing out. YouTube in 2020 is an unforgiving mistress. It is what it is. It forces me to become the best creator I can be. And if I was the best at what I was doing, then the algorithm wouldn't matter. So I realize I have a lot of work to do, but that is why you aren't getting notifications. Click the bell if you do want it. I'm not just saying this just because I like saying click the bell. It is actually fun saying it without actually putting it on screen, but it does actually help you get all notifications so that you don't miss those videos. And so the other aspect about becoming the biggest lore channel that I can, and really celebrating as much content, is that over time, obviously, I want to expand this out, which means I would have to have a team of people help me so that I can speed up the process of these videos, because it is extremely difficult and time consuming. I'm not complaining about it. I just, obviously I want to bring as much lore to the biggest audience possible. The problem with that at the moment is obviously I'm just one man, but also that I don't want to put all my eggs in the Diablo basket. I did it for Star Wars as Dash Star, and somebody else runs that channel now, and he's doing a terrific job, but my passion burned out when, Disney took different directions with Star Wars. Working for Curse Entertainment. If you look up Curse Entertainment on YouTube and then put in Fallout, you'll probably hear my voice. And I spearheaded, though there was a lovely team that, worked on it. It wasn't just me, but a lot of those videos were a passion project, especially the Fallout Vault Boy facts. I was in love with doing that video. And so, obviously Bethesda has somewhat fallen from grace with Fallout 76, which, again, a lot of these bigger companies, Blizzard, Bethesda, are making more corporate decisions. I feel like the 90s, when we all wished that they would take, mainstream media would take this kind of stuff seriously, get movies in the works, etc. It's be careful what you wish for, because the more money gets involved, the more shareholders have to be pleased, the more they care about revenue, the more, hey, mobile games make a lot more money, we're going to dump our efforts into that. It's just the nature of the beast, and it sucks. And I get it, but that is why I can't just be a Diablo channel. In case, I hope it doesn't happen, that they do go down that route where it just feels like some type of microtransaction feeding frenzy, or it loses the core pillars of what makes Diablo Diablo. You all have the same fears and trepidation about this franchise that I do. I'm trying to be positive and just give you lore chunks. So, hopefully we at least as a community celebrate together. We also have a great Discord linked in the description, all my social channels where you can talk to me about lore, or even we can group up in Diablo 4 when it comes out in other games. But that is why I'm trying to pepper in other franchises, because I've been burnt before so many times. I realize a lot of you subscribe for Diablo, but I was thinking about it a lot lately, and I'm trying to move laterally. So I keep the Diablo content in, I make sure the algorithm is happy, I pepper in other titles and see what works. Now, Knights of the Old Republic is one of my favorites and it's fun, but it's probably going to hurt the algorithm a lot more. So I stay off on that a little bit too. Anything that isn't trending, YouTube is pretty nasty with, unless you're the top 1% that magically gets a series that somehow boosts itself up. It's just how it is. So, with that being said, I'm not exactly sure after seeing Baldur's Gate 3 that the turn-based combat is going to be for me. I'm sitting on the fence with that. And Final Fantasy HD, I realize my PlayStation 4 is still in America, so that's actually out of the picture, which is good because I need to focus on singular things. It's too hard to spread out wildly, as you guys probably are aware. So I'm looking to cover Cyberpunk 2077. That seems to be the game with CD Projekt Red. Even if it's terrible, I'm 95% sure it's going to be good outside of the leveled shooting combat. But they look after the consumer. They're beloved. They just crossed some $8 billion profit threshold, which money and views, all this stuff doesn't really matter. But doing right by the consumer, it means a lot, and people are voting with their money. So I'm really going to ramp up more Cyberpunk content, specifically this year, in tandem with Diablo 4. But Diablo 4 doesn't have a release date. It's not going anywhere. So I'm hoping to, get a couple of videos out per week to keep that hype going, get my Diablo 2 lore series done. Again, there's no time frame. It has to be done, but I would like at least 1 or 2 videos per week because it is so much fun. And then really go from there. But I take everything you say into consideration. I love it. I get a lot of feedback about, whether videos are great, which, makes my day. Even people who correct me in my lore. I had that today. Somebody corrected me on our Discord and said, look, it was actually Tyrael who said in Act 4, I think, to the Nephilim, again, don't quote me, Tyrael said at some point in Reaper of Souls that Eldril and his sword couldn't passed through Malthael because he phased, which I incorrectly assumed that Malthael's intent wasn't negative or unjust in taking out the Nephilim from his point of view. That's why he couldn't be harmed, because Eldril is basically the embodiment of justice in a sick-ass sword. Anybody who dresses up as Tyrael for cosplay, you've got my respect immediately. Those light wings, everything looks amazing. But that's 11 minutes of rant done. I just wanted a quick update for you guys and to have a chat, let you know where the channel's at. Keep uploading consistently, and until next time, Traveler.